When you picture Björk, you probably picture the Marianne Payaski dress she wore to the 73rd Oscar ceremony. But did you know she has collaborated with many other iconic designers throughout her career? From this Alexander McQueen dress, to this Alexander McQueen skirt, to this Alexander McQueen kimono, Björk has had no shortage of amazing fashion moments. But which of her iconic looks have incorporated masks? Let's put on our headphones, snack on some grateful grapefruit, and find out. In order to talk about Björk and masks, we have to talk about James Merry first. James Merry is a British-Icelandic artist with a background in embroidery. One of his notable contributions to the art world was his work as a cataloger, recording the names of butterfly wings used in collages. In 2015, Björk began wearing masks by Merry, starting with the moth mask she wore for the Volnakura tour. Later, a paper recreation of the mask was released as part of the luxury edition of the Volnakura Live album. Since then, Merry has been a frequent collaborator with Björk, having created many unique and beautiful masks for her. The masks are made with various materials and methods, but are most often cut from sheet metal, hand-sculpted out of silicone, or 3D printed. Describing the headpieces he made for the flute ensemble that traveled with Björk on the Cornucopia tour, Merry said, "I tried to keep in mind the very specific utopian world that Björk had been creating around the album, and tried to make something that would fit into that, giving Björk and the flute players this specific character. Orchid-like, mutated, individual, but united. A matriarchal tribe on an unknown island starting anew." Björk wears many of Merry's creations in combination with makeup by the drag queen Hungry, lending them an uncanny nature. Merry hasn't just worked with Björk. Most notably, his creations appeared in Iris von Herpen's Autumn-Winter 2021 Couture collection. Many of von Herpen's own mask designs feature organic shapes similar to those in Merry's work, which made the two perfect collaborators. Björk herself has worked with von Herpen, wearing a custom dress by the designer during the Cornucopia tour. Even though Merry's masks have been an important part of Björk's fashion and the fashion world as a whole, Björk has worn many other designers' masks throughout her career. Masks are a signature part of her style, and she has always gravitated towards them. As she explained in an interview with Fashion Magazine, "I wear masks because it's a way to hide and reveal. With phones and selfie culture, I can always hear the click of phones. It's weird energy. With masks, I feel protected." Because Björk has worn so many masks, I feel that someone should catalog them. This video will therefore serve as a chronological breakdown of the many masks Björk has worn in her career, the designers who made them, and the inspirations behind the designs. But first, two caveats. One, I can't mention every face covering Björk has ever worn, because there have been a lot of them. Two, for the sake of scope, I'll only be talking about physical clothing, so no digital fashion. With that, let's begin. Mexican dance mask. In 1995, Steve Double photographed Björk for New Musical Express. During the photo shoot, Björk posed with a papier-mâché dance mask from Mexico. This mask has a unique position on this list, as it's one of the few masks Björk has worn that didn't come straight off the runway. Instead, it's folk art. Masks like the one Björk posed with are used in various theatrical dances, and they're made in a wide variety of materials and styles. This particular mask resembles an animal. The horns and fur beard make me think it's probably supposed to be a goat. These types of Mexican folk masks are so beautiful and diverse that they really deserve their own video, so keep an eye out for that in the future. Scent of Tempests mask. In 1997, Björk was featured in Ray Gun magazine, where she promoted her album Homogenic. For the cover shoot, Björk wore a mask from Hussein Chalayan's Autumn-Winter 1997 collection, Scent of Tempests. The mask is fringed, made of chains and black and purple beads. Chalayan and Björk were frequent collaborators in the 90s, such as with the paper jacket she wore on the cover of her album Post. Many of Chalayan's designs feature masks, such as these voguing-inspired masks made by the digital modeling company Asylum for Autumn-Winter 2019 ready-to-wear, or basically any of his collections from the late aughts and early 2010s. Most controversially, Chalayan's 1998 Between collection included models wearing traditional Islamic veils of various lengths, some of which left the models completely nude. As for headpiece. In 2001, Warren Dupreez and Nick Thornton-Jones photographed Björk for Jalouse magazine, where she promoted her album Vespertine. For the shoot, Björk wore a pink tulle outfit with a crystal headpiece that partially covered her face. This outfit was part of As4's Spring-Summer Ready-to-Wear collection from the same year. When asked about her relationship with the As4 brand, Björk explained, "I like stylists, and that's why I've never designed my own clothes. It's therefore essential to find some who think like me so I can be a bit like their ambassador. I'm a great lover of imagination, not of power. That's also why most of the designers I am interested in are unknown, because as soon as they become famous, they become, often in spite of themselves, slaves to the market and the financiers who maintain it. According to Vogue's coverage of the 2001 runway show the design came from, Björk was also a fan of Asfor's iconic circle bags. She's continued to work with the brand over the years, wearing an Asfor dress as recently as 2022. Fashion Rocks Makeup. In 2003, Björk performed her song Bachelorette at the Fashion Rocks show in London. For the performance, she wore a black Alexander McQueen dress with a rhinestoned waist and ostrich feather skirt. Many of McQueen's designs use feathers and other animal motifs, owing to his fascination with nature. To match the over-the-top gown, makeup artist Val Garland covered Björk's face in glass rhinestones. In addition to the rhinestones, Björk's skin was painted white and covered in glitter. Björk later repeated the rhinestone look for her Oceania music video, a song which also takes inspiration from nature. Human Hair Sculptress. For the cover of her album Medulla, Björk wore a custom headpiece called Human Hair Sculptress, made of a mixture of human and horse hair. The headpiece was designed by the artist Shoplifter, who is most known for her art installations made of human and synthetic hair. Hair art like that made by Shoplifter is a centuries-old tradition and was most popular in the Victorian era. Like Alexander McQueen, many of Shoplifter's works are inspired by nature, from outer space to the human brain. Shoplifter also collaborated with Björk to design this dress made out of doilies, one of her few non-hair creations. Second Skin. To promote her album Volta, Björk wore a crocheted second skin mask created by the Icelandic Love Corporation, an artistic collective based in Reykjavik. For a 2015 retrospective of Björk's work at the Museum of Modern Art, the group created a second mask to pair with the first. Björk described the crocheted clothing she wore during the Volta era as perhaps a more feminine version of a humorous electro-pagan thing, kinda neo-nature. Photographer Ines van Lamsveerda, who worked on the Volta promotional shoot, had a similar opinion, calling it a fiery, pagan earthwoman. Big Red Riding Hood. In 2015, Björk appeared in T magazine wearing a Big Red Riding Hood from Comme des Garcons' Spring 2015 ready-to-wear collection. This hooded outfit was one of many red outfits in an entirely red collection, fittingly named Blood and Roses. According to designer Ray Kawakubo, the collection was the expression of a deeper significance of roses, typically happy and pretty. Often in history, the image of the rose is more connected with blood and wars in relation to political conflict, religious strife, and power struggles. The choice to portray Little Red Riding Hood, who famously encounters violence as a consequence of gathering flowers, may have been a reflection of that idea. Kawakubo seems to have had a particular interest in Little Red Riding Hood, as the tale has previously appeared in Comme des Garcons' press imagery. However, Kawakubo has tried to distance herself from folkloric influences in fashion, particularly Japanese influences. This is something Björk questioned in emails to the designer. In response, Kawakubo explained, "In the same way as nature is strong by its very existence, without having to be designed, I try to make strong clothes, but this is an extremely difficult thing to do. I have never made anything consciously thinking about Japan either. I just spend every day looking for something new, something that goes beyond any cultural references and which has nothing to do with where I am from." Stephen Jones Cocktail Hat. In 2015, Alistair McClellan photographed Björk for Gentlewoman, where she wore a cocktail hat by Stephen Jones for the Emmanuel Ungaro Spring-Summer 2015 ready-to-wear collection. The collection, designed by Fausto Puglisi, was bright and poppy, made to feel like spring. To be honest, I don't love this collection, but the hats do help elevate it. Even though this collection isn't my taste, the designs fit very well with the brand's glamorous feminine image, so there was clearly some intention. Maiko Takeda Headpieces. For the cover of her album Volnicura, as well as various live performances, Björk wore headpieces designed by Maiko Takeda. Takeda's signature porcupine-like style is achieved by linking together pieces of acetate with jump rings. Takeda has cited the works of Remedios Varo and Etienne Jules Marais as inspiration. Note that the headpiece on the Volnicura cover is yellow. To Björk, yellow symbolizes the feeling of danger and emergency that comes at the beginning of the process of healing, which may be why she chose it for her breakup album. Lesage Masks. In 2016, Nick Knight photographed Björk for Another magazine, where she wore various masks made by the Lesage company. Lesage, which is now owned by Chanel, is known for its embroidery work. In the case of these masks, red sequins were embroidered onto sheer fabric. This is not the only time Lesage designs have appeared in masked couture, with these Christian Lacroix Autumn-Winter 2002 looks or this Balenciaga Autumn-Winter 2022 bridal veil being notable examples. Wrought Lace. For a performance of her song Quicksand, Björk wore the wrought lace mask designed by Neri Oxman. Oxman is known for her work with 3D printing technology. She is also known for coining the phrase material ecology to describe her work using organic materials and technological development. The wrought lace mask, which was designed based on scans of Björk's face, sits flush with her skin. The striations of the mask resemble muscle tissue, illustrating the mechanics of Björk's facial movements. Like James Mary, Oxman has collaborated with Iris von Herpen, specifically for her Spring-Summer 2013 Couture collection. Gucci Veil. For a 2016 performance in Reykjavik, Björk wore a blue veil from Gucci's Spring-Summer 2017 ready-to-wear collection. The collection was meant to emulate a 70s nightclub. Describing the collection, designer Alessandro Michele said, "You know when you are in love in a nightclub, but you are not in the right place, the person is not there?" While sheer designs like this veil certainly had their moments in 70s nightclub fashion, to me the collection reads as distinctly 2010s. Kei Ninomiya Sculptures. For various performances, Björk has worn designs from Comme des Garcons' Noir Kei Ninomiya line. Examples include this look from Kei Ninomiya's Spring-Summer 2022 collection, and this look from the Autumn-Winter 2023 collection. Like Rei Kawakubo, Kei Ninomiya is known for his large sculptural designs that don't necessarily conform to the curves of the human body. In an interview at Paris Fashion Week, he explained, "My inspiration doesn't come specifically from the physical world, nor from philosophical concepts. It comes from my will to create something new, that people have never experienced before." This experimentalism may have been why Björk, who is known for her own experimental art, wore his pieces. Mushroom Mask. To promote her mushroom-themed album Fasora, Björk wore a custom mask designed by Daniel Del Core in collaboration with 3D sculptor David Uber. The mask is 3D printed and was designed to resemble bioluminescent fungi. Mushrooms feature heavily in the Del Core brand, such as in these mushroom earrings or these mushroom sandals. This is an example of a larger overall trend of mushrooms in 2020s fashion. This mushroom mask is not the first time Del Core has collaborated with Björk either. He also worked on the custom Gucci dress she wore for her music video The Gate. Porterville Cage Dress. For a party she DJ'd in 2024, Björk wore a cage dress from Rick Owens' Autumn-Winter 2024 ready-to-wear collection. The dress is made of bicycle tires sculpted to obscure the wearer's face, and is one of many avant-garde pieces in a very avant-garde collection. Owens named the collection Porterville after his hometown, a place where he felt he was judged. Although the collection was named Porterville, he did not want the collection to be considered a tribute to his hometown. Instead, the collection is a challenge to beauty standards. When I walk in an airport and see all the makeup advertising, I don't subscribe to that very narrow definition of beauty, Owens explained. This dress, with its strange shape and materials, seems to have succeeded in the goal of bucking convention. Soul Gown. For a 2025 Apple Music interview, Björk wore a James Mary mask beneath a veiled Robert I dress called the Soul Gown. The gown is embroidered with 97,000 rhinestones and was made to resemble the Milky Way. The dress came from One's Autumn-Winter 2024 Couture collection, which explored various effects of passing time, such as the changing of seasons and even death itself. Face coverings were all over the collection, with various veils and oversized hats. The collection was also reflective of an overall continuing trend of burnt clothing, as seen in Giles Deacon Autumn 2012 and Moschino Autumn 2016 ready-to-wear. Silver Columbina Mask. For the final mask on this list, I'm breaking chronological order and going back to the mid-90s to try and solve a mystery. In 1995, photographs of Björk by Björn Opsahl appeared at the exhibition Björk, Venice, Stockholm, at the Barbank Gallery in Oslo. The photos show Björk wearing a silver Columbina mask with an abstract design embossed on the top and sides. The photos also appeared in a 1995 issue of the now-defunct Norwegian magazine Beat, and a promotional booklet for the Japanese leg of Björk's post tour in 1996. If you have any more information about this mask and where it came from, please let me know. Is it from a runway collection? Was it purchased at a tourist shop in Venice? Let's figure this out together. This episode's charity shoutout is the Icelandic Wildlife Fund, an environmental organization which focuses on environmental protection and conservation, including the protection of the wild Icelandic salmonids, the wild salmon stocks, Arctic char, sea trout, and other wild freshwater fish in Icelandic rivers and lakes. Open pen farming has caused devastating effects on the planet, and celebrities like Björk have voiced their opposition to the practice. A link to donate is in the description.